Sage, good to go? Sage? Sage?
Sage has disappeared.
My favorite punching bag is Gabe, which is why I devised a punishment that is both cruel and unusual.
Sage has disappeared.
Yes! I'm just a diva. Please don't hurt me. Randy Orton came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'd like to order an extra large cheese pizza. Wait. 2 extra large cheese pizzas. My name? Bennett T. Sage.
Can't you hear it? Someone...
Hey, Sage! I'm watching your secret hentai. You better come out and pound me.
All of you... me...
Not like that.
She's lost her mind.
Sage! Sage! Where am I?
You're in hell, Sage.
New Jersey? Oh, for the love of... Oh! Hey! Long time no see.
Yes. Too long.
So you got me at a disadvantage here. Don't suppose you'd let me go, would you?
No. No, I wouldn't.
Well, would you scratch my nose at least? Got this really irritating little... Oh! Okay. I get that you're angry.
Angry? No, Sage. I'm way past angry. You see, over the past few months, I've been experiencing, how would you call it? Violent fits of uncontrollable rage? That it?
Yeah, I think that sounds
Think so?
appropriate.
Yeah. Well, do you know why I've been experiencing violent fits of uncontrollable rage? Do you?
I'm gonna hazard a guess and say it's because of me.
That's right, bucko.
What did I do?
Oh, let's see. Goading me into heavy Chicago traffic, tricking my brother into constantly quoting Dune.
So because I trolled you a little, you drugged and kidnapped me. To do what exactly?
I think you would have gotten it by now, Sage. What else would we be doing?
Okay, what are we reviewing?
Oh, just a little movie from 2008.
2008? I don't do 2008.
Well, 2008 is gonna do you. And it's gonna do you hard.
What, really?
Yeah, really. But you've never seen this before?
No, I have. It's just
What?
It's just not terrible.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to.
And I'm Sage.
It must be hard to follow up a cultural touchstone. The Wachowskis were on top of the world by the early 2000s, having made a trilogy of films that changed sci-fi forever. Maybe not for the better, but they changed it all the same.
While the Matrix trilogy ended on a pretentious and overwrought note, the Wachowskis still had enough clout to pretty much have carte blanche on whatever project that suited their fancy, including penning the script to V for Vendetta, which I'm surprised you haven't reviewed yet.
Patience, my love. Patience. Still, a whole 5 years went by without the, well, now sisters, having directed anything. What would be their triumphant return to prestige and relevancy? Why, it's none other than the bleeding eyesore Speed Racer. A film that dares to ask, how fast can we make the audience go blind? Speed Racer is the kind of movie that doesn't even feel like it was made. It had to be summoned from the deepest, darkest pits of CGI hell. Okay, second deepest.
While Speed Racer does fail in a number of aspects...
All aspects!
I'm saying that it just deserves your disdain, not this pure vitriol of yours.
Okay, did you crack your head when you were in my trunk? Because I don't think chloroform should make you this delusional.
And you know that how?
Sometimes Malcolm gets a little mouthy and needs a little nap.
Why does anyone work for you?
This is Speed Racer. We begin with a flashback that tells us all about how a kid named Speed Racer is really into racing. Yeah, who would have thought?
Your son seems to be interested in only one thing. All he talks about, all he seems capable of thinking about,
Is your gigantic rack.
is automobile racing.
Oh, automobile racing. Yes, of course, that too.
Yep, that's Susan Sarandon playing Speed Racer's mom, who's about to learn something very harsh about her son.
Is your husband's name Rex?
No, that's his older brother, Rex. Why?
This is the test he turned in last week.
That's right, your son's an idiot. And Sarandon's expression pretty much says it all. Yeah, he is.
But the school bell rings and Speed is off like a shot to get picked up by his older brother, Rex. And by God, what the hell kind of world are they living in? It's like if the Leave It to Beaver neighborhood was rendered by the guys behind Jimmy Neutron. Actually, why are the backgrounds all CG?
Well, it is based off an anime.
But why do you even have real actors? Why don't you just make them CG if everything else is CG? It's not like Who Framed Roger Rabbit where Eddie looking out of place in Toontown was all part of the joke. Everyone here is treating the world like it always looked like if Dr. Seuss just gave up.
Granted, if it was all CG, it'd definitely be less jarring, but I think it looks alright when you realize it's supposed to be a cartoon. As far as why there's actual actors instead of CG characters, I think it's because the Wachowskis wanted to see what they could do and achieve by blending the two, and maybe also prove that an anime adaptation could be made.
What are you talking about?
Look, there's been a ton of anime-based adaptations that have been stuck in development hell for God knows how long because everyone and their mother has been scared to actually pull the trigger. James Cameron has been battling for over a decade to get a Battle Angel Alita film made, and Ghost in the Shell took 7 years before principal photography even began. Cowboy Bebop has certainly been milled around too, and Akira is infamous for being greenlit, only to have production stop 4 different times. And don't even get me started on Robotech.
I wasn't, actually.
The point is that Speed Racer is the first real big-budget Hollywood adaptation of an anime that was made, and it was supposed to be a gateway for future movies to be released.
So you're saying that because of Speed Racer, we got Dragon Ball Evolution and Astro Boy?
Well, Astro Boy was fine. Ish.
We got back to the present day, I think, as the now fully grown Speed Racer, played by Emil Hirsch, suits up and begins the race. And if the CGI looked bad before, it literally hurts to look at now. The colors are garishly bright. The camera jitters around like a 5-year-old who has to go pee, and it just won't stop!
Great move, Speed.
So, Speed turned his vehicle, sideswiped the other guy's car, causing him to crash, turn into a crunchberry, and bounce off.
Hey, how else are we supposed to know he survived that horrific car crash if he didn't have that magic force field bubble? Wait, no! He didn't die in a flaming chasm of gasoline and carnage! See? He magically bounced off like it was fucking Kirby's Dreamland! Alright, in all seriousness, I'm more on your side than not, as a lot is happening at once, and since all the colors are blending together, it makes it that much more difficult to differentiate objects in the frame. Compounding matters is that the speed by which everything is moving at is dictating the editing, which is relentlessly quick. It's an exhausting set, which is kind of the point. I mean, it is a white-knuckle race after all.
I get that, but it doesn't mean it has to be so incredibly painful to sit through. I can barely keep my eyes on the screen without wishing I had some aspirin on hand. I don't care what the intent was. Watching this movie shouldn't hurt.
Well, yeah, I guess on the whole, I agree with you.
Thank you. I'm still not scratching your nose.
Come on! While Speed is tearing shit up, everyone is wondering if he'll manage to beat his brother Rex's time, including his family.
Jeepers, he could do it, Pops. He could really do it. What if he does it? What if he does it, Pops? I don't know if I can watch this.
Sage, what the hell is a chimp doing in this movie?
Oh, that's Chim Chim.
How the hell is that an answer?
It was the 60s, okay? Teenage paranormal detectives had a talking Great Dane, boys accompanied their scientist fathers on expeditions around the world, and race car drivers had a goddamn chimpanzee. That's just the way things were.
Yeah, in a cartoon, seeing a chimp interact with humans is alright, but in real life, it's just so weird and out of place.
In a movie where people race around Rainbow Road at half the speed of light.
Fucking yes! You're trying to get invested in the story, jumbled and erratic as it's being told right now, and then all of a sudden, BAM! Chimp! No explanation of where he came from or why everyone around it doesn't seem to realize that's a goddamn chimpanzee! And the hell of it is, there's no reason for him to be there except he was in the cartoon!
Alright, as far as primates in films are concerned, you could do a whole lot worse than fucking Speed Racer.
Like Dunstan checks in.
No, try going bananas.
You've seen way too many movies, Sage. That's America's uncle, John Goodman, playing Speed's dad, and America's creepy cousin, Christina Ricci, playing Trixie, who apparently has had quite a crush on Speed ever since they were kids. Which means we get another flashback.
There's that Speed Racer. My daddy told me that his daddy used to work for the Machine Motorworks, but he quit. My daddy told me that it was a completely crazy thing to do. He says the whole family is crazy. Speed's not crazy. No, he's just dumb.
Okay, seriously, a cartoon cutout bully too? Is this turning into a Stephen King movie? And what's with this actress's weird performance? She keeps looking over her shoulder, like she's reading her cues. Or maybe she's just looking at her parents to make sure it's okay to say this line.
Mrs. Woodstrap and the alphabetizer IRBTs. And you would believe what the retard did.
You know, if you're uncomfortable with the line that you try to distort in post, maybe you shouldn't have written it at all.
Well, after that completely necessary diversion, we crash through a 5-mile thick wall that is our exposition. Seems that Speed's brother Rex sold out and started working for a dirty company and intentionally causing crashes. But some say he's actually a double agent and he's just bringing evidence to light of the corruption in racing, but then he died in a racing accident and...
Wait a minute! Wasn't this supposed to be a kid's movie? Why is a kid gonna care about the politics of racing?
Well, it was part of the show, but... I agree that the plot is a real mess. There's too much happening in such a short amount of time that no one in the audience can get their footing in the story, much less a kid. I also agree that the way the movie dumps all of this background info on us is lazy at best, especially since it's all coming from these disparate announcers that are telling us all of this in apropos of nothing going on. But hey, at least one of them is being played by the original voice actor of Speed Racer, Peter Fernandez.
Okay, well that is cool and everything. I'm more annoyed by the fact that they keep doing this bullshit side wipe that's just visually obnoxious. How would you like it if every time we cut back to us we use this?
This ain't a race. This is a showdown.
Irritating, isn't it?
In any case, Speed finishes the race, but intentionally slows down so as to not beat his brother's record. We cut to the next day as Speed's little brother, Spritle, yes, Spritle, and Chin Chim play act like they're in the terribly animated show they're watching.
Get it? Because the movie's based on the anime.
Well, to be fair, if they weren't doing that, they'd be doing nothing. The Racer family's breakfast is interrupted by the not at all evil businessman E.P. Arnold Royalton, played by longtime actor of the British theater, Roger Allam. Actually, a bit of a fun fact here, Allam played Inspector Javert in the original West End production of Les Miserables.
And he's easily the best part of the movie. He just owns every scene he's in. He also has a voice that sounds like if Tim Curry did an impression of Stephen Fry. Go ahead. Try and tell me you don't get the weirdest boner when you hear him speak.
A figure like mine requires constant attention, Mrs. Racer.
And do you like pancakes?
When I was a child, we used to say, Pannkuchen sind Liebchen. Pancakes are love.
Pancakes are love.
Pancakes are life. So Royalton, attempting to sweet-talk the racers into partnering with his company, whisks the family to his corporate headquarters, which looks like if Willy Wonka owned General Motors. When suddenly we cut to a James Bond film? Like, literally, we just cut to this guy we've never seen before, who was never in the anime, and whose presence in the plot is the most baffling thing about the story. One of the most.
Just as you begin to wonder where in the hell this guy managed to get a Flintstone slab of meat like that, Rex Racer, Racer X, arrives to wreck their shit. Yeah, this whole scene was taking place in an 18-wheeler. Go figure.
Baby! Put your finger in there! Do it! This is nice. This is
A family picture!
So Racer X saves, this guy, who is important for reasons, and then we cut back to the plot where Speed finally tells Royalton, after a long, overwrought speech, that there will be no deal. But that's when Royalton verbally slaps the shit out of him.
You poor naive chump. Now I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that load of sickening schmaltz, and I'm going to give you a bit of an education. At the end of it, if you're smart, you'll thank me, and then you'll sign that contract.
You see, this is what I'm talking about! Even when he's forced to speak economic gibberish, Roger Allam just acts circles around the entire set. I can listen to him recite the dictionary for crying out loud. But then the movie pulls this bullshit.
That's what racing is about. It has nothing to do with cars or drivers. All that matters is power and the unassailable might of money.
Okay, let me be clear. This isn't tonal whiplash. This is tonal homicide. Were the Wachowskis intentionally sabotaging their movie? They write a scene where Allam has to recite a long monologue about buyouts and complicated business ventures, and despite that, he gives an involving and brilliant performance, considering what he had to work with. So, what do? Smash cut to that little Spritle shit and Chim Chim aping shit all over the place. Did they really think this scene was too boring for kids, so they decided to interrupt it with this bullshit? Well, if that's true, then why did they write it in the first fucking place? Go ahead, Sage. Try to tell me this isn't fucking shit!
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah! There's still half a movie to go, numbnuts!